So whenever people ask me how I got into design, I usually say something like, well, you know, I really loved my high school art class or being on the yearbook staff, and so, you know, that led me to design. But I realized it actually started a long time before high school, because 26 years ago this week, actually on July 4th, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it rocked my family's world. Now, I was only 3 at the time, so I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea how it was going to impact my life. All I knew is that growing up, I always asked, why me? Why did this have to happen to me? So fast forward to the 3rd grade, we moved to a new town, and I really struggled to fit in and make friends, because I was the new kid, and no one likes the new kid, and I was weird, because I was kind of a weird kid, still am, and I was different because of my diabetes. I got special snacks, the nurse would pull me aside, and they would see me checking my blood sugar and taking shots, and ew, gross, that, like, we don't want to be friends with her. So I didn't have a lot of friends, and I would go home after school and play on the computer. I loved to play in the Paint program, or I would play Word Monsters, which was this video game that was a combination of like Pac-Man and grammar and spelling, and would play on the computer as much as my family would allow me to, because I loved it. And this continued for years. So fast forward to high school, still a little weird, still a little different, and still don't have a ton of great friends. And now sports are becoming a thing. And I only played volleyball because I wasn't that great at everything else. And then my junior year of high school, I joined the yearbook staff, which brought me so much joy. I felt like I finally found where I fit in. I finally found my place, because it was a mix of taking pictures and being creative and designing, and all on the computer. And I loved it. And I remember my dad asking me, what do you want to do in college? Like, what do you want to study? And I said, well, maybe either something with art, which scared him, or something with like computers, or something that can mix art and computers. And he said, well, what about graphic design? Which I had never heard of. I didn't know what it was. So he explained it to me, and I said, that sounds great. And I decided right then and there I was going to be a graphic designer. And it was just really cool looking back to see how this thing that has brought me so much pain and heartache and has made me so different for so long actually drove me to my passion. And this journey came full circle last year, because I published a book. I remember 2 or 3 years ago meeting one of my business friends, and we wouldn't have met if I wasn't a designer and had gone into running Jess Creatives. And she's a book editor, and she asked me, if you could write a book about anything, what would it be? And I said, a book about diabetes. And so I wrote a book for parents that have children that are type 1. And it was just really cool to think about the whole journey that has brought me here to being a designer and writing this book. Because I designed this entire book, front and inside. And it was just, it's really cool to see that even the thing that has brought me the most pain in my life has served a purpose. And it's just a really great reminder in my life that everything has a purpose.